It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, and Dave's sitting in the back office of the hardware store his father opened in 1978. He's 67 years old. The spreadsheet says the business cleared $400,000 last year, and he has no idea who's going to run it when he's gone. Dave's not alone. In fact, he's part of the largest ownership transition in American business history, and most people, including most potential buyers, have no idea it's happening. 6 million small businesses, $5 trillion in enterprise value, and a 10-year window that's already started closing? This isn't a prediction. It's happening right now. By 2035, nearly half of America's small businesses will need new owners, or they'll simply cease to exist. The question is, who's paying attention? Here's what you need to know, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Baby boomers built an empire of small businesses, hardware stores, dental practices, HVAC companies, accounting firms, the businesses that keep communities running. According to McKinsey, boomers own 41% of all U.S. small businesses. That's not a typo. 4 in 10. These businesses are collectively worth almost $8 trillion. That's trillion with a T. And the owners are getting ready to leave. The oldest boomers are now turning 80, the youngest are 60, and running a business past your mid-60s? It takes a toll. More than 1 million of these retiring businesses are viable candidates for transfer. Good books, loyal customers, trained staff, real value, not just inventory and lease obligations. McKinsey puts the enterprise value of these transferable businesses at $5 trillion. $5 trillion waiting for someone to step in. And this is part of something even bigger, the Great Wealth Transfer. $84 trillion moving from boomers to younger generations over the coming decades. But here's the problem, and it's a big one. Buyers and sellers can't find each other. The infrastructure simply doesn't exist. Think about real estate. There's Zillow, Redfin, the MLS, transparent pricing, standardized processes, professional agents in every town. Now think about buying a business. There's no MLS for small businesses. Brokers focus on deals above $2 million. Below that, you're mostly on your own. McKinsey's research confirms it. Financing remains difficult to access, and advisory capacity serves only the upper end of the market. Small sellers are left behind. And for communities, especially rural ones, failed transitions aren't just a business problem. They're an economic catastrophe. In some sparsely populated states, small businesses account for more than half of total employment. When those businesses close, whole towns can stall. Rural areas are particularly exposed. Failed transitions can stall economic mobility across entire communities. That's not my opinion, that's McKinsey's assessment. So we have a supply problem. Millions of businesses about to hit the market, a demand problem, buyers who don't know where to look, and a matching problem, no system to connect them. But here's the opportunity hidden inside the problem. McKinsey estimates that closing participation gaps in business ownership could unlock up to $3 trillion in new household wealth. $3 trillion. That's not theoretical future value. That's wealth that could transfer to new owners if we can solve the matching problem. So who's actually buying these businesses? The answer might surprise you. It's not private equity, at least not yet. According to Inc. magazine, many retiring entrepreneurs are choosing to sell to enterprising millennials rather than passing businesses to their children. The kids don't want it. There's actually a whole movement around this. It's called Entrepreneurship through Acquisition, ETA for short. Business schools now teach it as a legitimate path to ownership. Search funds, where investors back someone to find and acquire a business, have exploded in popularity. Stanford's been tracking them for years. The Great Wealth Transfer, that $84 trillion, represents an estimated shift from baby boomers to younger generations. Businesses are part of that transfer. But timing matters a lot. The best businesses, the ones with strong cash flow, documented processes, and transferable relationships, they'll get snapped up first. What's left after that? Businesses that are harder to value, harder to finance, and harder to run without the original owner's relationships and knowledge. So what does this mean for you? If you've ever thought about owning a business, not starting one, but buying one that already works, this might be your window. Now, every situation is different. You should absolutely work with advisors who know your specific circumstances. But the general pattern the data shows, it's hard to ignore. First step, and this is something you could do this week, start building relationships with business owners in your industry or community, coffee meetings, industry events, chamber mixers. These relationships take years to build, and the owners most likely to sell to you are the ones who know you, trust you, and believe you'll carry on what they started. If you're a potential seller, and if you're over 55, you probably should be thinking about this. The time to start succession planning is now. Not when you want to retire, now. Businesses with documented processes and transferable relationships sell for higher multiples. That's not abstract, that's real money in your pocket at exit. For financing, consider exploring SBA 7all loans. They're specifically designed for business acquisitions, up to $5 million, with terms stretching 10 to 25 years. The qualification process can be rigorous: credit history, collateral, business plan. But for a proven business with existing cash flow, the path is more viable than many people realize. Look into search funds and ETA programs at business schools. These are structured paths where investors back your search for an acquisition target. It's not just for MBAs anymore. And if you already own a business, here's an idea most founders don't consider. Instead of building that new service line from scratch, buy a competitor. A retiring owner in your space might give you instant access to their customer base, their trained staff, their equipment, all at a multiple that's lower than your cost to build it yourself. Now, the math here varies wildly by industry and geography. You'll want to get proper valuations and maybe bring in a broker, but the opportunity is real. For rural communities, if you're a local leader, economic development officer, or just someone who cares about your town, there's important work to do here. Communities that proactively identify at-risk businesses and connect owners with local buyer pools before they list with outside brokers tend to retain more value locally. Otherwise, out-of-town acquirers, or worse, private equity roll-ups, may extract value rather than reinvest in the community. That's a real concern worth taking seriously. Look, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about nostalgia for some imagined small-town past. It's about recognizing economic reality. Small businesses employ nearly half of the private workforce in the U.S. When they close without transition, those jobs disappear, those tax bases erode, those communities suffer. The businesses that survive and thrive through this transition will be the ones with owners who plan ahead and buyers who move before the obvious deals are gone. By 2035, 6 million small businesses will be on the market. That's McKinsey's projection. And the decade between now and then? It'll go faster than you think. So whether you're dreaming of ownership, planning your exit, or trying to strengthen your community's economic base, the time to act isn't someday. It's now. Start the conversations. Run the numbers. Build the relationships. The infrastructure may be broken, but the opportunity is massive for those willing to do the work. If you found this useful, if this kind of signal matters to you, hit subscribe. We cover stories like this every week. Real signals, real opportunities, real implications for small business. $5 trillion in enterprise value. 6 million businesses. A 10-year window. This is the great boomer ownership transfer, and it's happening whether you're ready or not. I'm here to help you make sense of it. Let's get to work. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor or business consultant before making significant financial decisions. Remember, this content is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice.